Chapter 1. The Weight of Silence Part 2. I wonder if I've made the right choice, or if I've just been running away from something I can't even name. The thought of home, the smell of my mother's cooking, the sound of my father's voice calling me to dinner, all feel like dreams I'm no longer part of. Am I losing myself in all of this? Sometimes, I think if I am the version of true me. Am I true to myself? I look in the mirror, searching for the person I thought I'd find, but all I see is someone I barely recognize. The reflection stares back at me with questions I'm too afraid to ask. Really? The one who left everything behind or the one who stayed, hidden in the shadows of what was comfortable? Maybe I've been so focused on becoming someone else that I've forgotten to ask if I even like who I am right now. It's like I'm constantly running towards an idea of who I should be, but every step forward feels like a step farther from myself. Would the version of me that my family knew even recognize this person I've become? All I can see are those empty eyes. I won't say it was a surprise when I realized that I make a different face when I come home, if I can even call this place home. It's just a house where I keep my things and go through the motions of daily life, but it doesn't feel like home, at least not to me. It always feels like he's living with his family, and I'm just here as a +1, on a good day. I try to smile in the mirror, but it feels like the corners of my mouth are fighting against the effort, like they're not sure if they should stretch into something genuine or just settle into a tired, forced grin. I can see the difference, the way my expression shifts the moment I walk through the door, like I'm slipping into someone else's life. The silence that greets me isn't comforting, it's like a reminder that I'm not really part of this. His family is everywhere, in the pictures on the walls, in the little things he does that remind me of them. But when I try to connect, when I try to make this place feel like mine too, it always feels like I'm stepping on the edges of someone else's world, awkward and out of place. On a good day, I'm just another body in the room, trying to blend into a space that wasn't built for me. Empty rooms, yet everything we own is crammed into one, our bedroom, which also doubles as the living room and dining room. Why? Because his mother doesn't let us use any other space. We can't even throw away a 35-year-old piece of paper with a meaningless phone number that's no longer in service. Why? Because, according to her, we shouldn't throw anything out unless we paid for it. Living in a house that's too small for the things we've accumulated, but it's not just the space that's cramped, it's the expectations. Every time I try to make this place feel like ours, I'm reminded of how little control I have. His mother's rules, her way of doing things, are woven into the fabric of this place. And somehow, it all feels like I'm just passing through, like I'm renting this space, emotionally, physically, without any real claim to it. When I try to talk to him about it, he just shrugs it off. It's not that bad and my mother's right, he says, but to me, it's not just about the space. It's about the lack of autonomy, the feeling that everything around me is being dictated by someone else. I don't know if he sees it the way I do, or if he's just numb to it. Either way, it makes me feel even more alone. The more I try to carve out a place for myself here, the more it feels like I'm not meant to. He keeps saying that I'm a part of their family. What kind of family is this? If I were a part of their family, I'd have a say, don't you think? If I were really part of their family, I wouldn't feel like I'm always on the outside looking in. Me wants to believe him when he says that, but every time I try to assert myself, I'm met with silence or an uncomfortable smile, like I'm out of line for even asking. Families share things, they compromise, they listen. But here, it feels like I'm just supposed to fit into the mold that's already been made, no questions asked, no voice in the matter. Really part of this, I'd be able to make decisions without feeling like I'm stepping on toes. I'd have a seat at the table, not just a place at the edge of it. But instead, I'm stuck in this strange limbo, trying to figure out if I'm supposed to keep playing the role of the wife, or if I'm meant to be something more. The truth is, I don't even know what that more looks like, because it doesn't seem to exist here. Night. I don't pack a bag or make a plan or say anything brave out loud. I do something much quieter than that. I sit on the edge of the bed and admit something I've been avoiding. I'm not staying because I chose this. I'm staying because I don't know where else to go. Doesn't arrive with drama. It settles into me slowly, like dust, like something that's always been in the air but only now becomes visible when the light hits it just right. And once I see it, I can't unsee it. The relationship, the house, the country, all of it has been wrapped in the language of choice. I wanted this. It was my choice. I chose him. But choice is different when you know you can leave. Choice is different when home is still an option, when your mother's voice is just a phone call away and not a memory you ration out carefully so it doesn't hurt too much. The way he shrugs when I tell him how small I feel here. How, not that bad, has become the answer to everything. Not that bad to live in one room. Not that bad to have no say. Not that bad to feel invisible. I wonder when, not that bad, became enough to build a life on. The house quietly. The floors creak in places I've memorized but never claimed. There are rooms I'm not meant to enter, objects I'm not meant to touch, histories I'm meant to respect without ever being part of. I realize I live inside someone else's preservation of the past, careful not to disturb it, careful not to take up space that hasn't been explicitly offered. This house doesn't know my name. It knows where I sleep, where I keep my things, where I'm allowed to exist, but it doesn't know me. It's time I stop asking whether they see me as family. I stop trying to measure myself against their definition of belonging. Instead, I ask a different question, one that scares me more because it doesn't depend on anyone else's answer. What do I need in order to stay? The silence that follows is different. It's still heavy, still uncomfortable, but it's honest. It doesn't rush to reassure me. It doesn't pretend. It simply waits. To the mirror. I don't force a smile this time. I don't look for recognition or approval in my own reflection. I just stand there and let myself be seen, tired, displaced, quieter than I used to be, but not gone. Not erased. Still here. Maybe I haven't lost myself. Maybe I've just been storing pieces of myself somewhere safe, waiting until it was possible to ask for them back. Yet what happens next? I don't know if this story ends with leaving or staying or something in between that doesn't have a clean name. But I know this. I can no longer live as a guest in my own life. I can no longer confuse endurance with love, or silence with peace. For the first time since I arrived, I don't ask whether this place wants me. I ask whether I want this place. And the question doesn't feel like betrayal. It feels like the beginning of truth. Because I love myself and I don't want to regret not making a choice.